Oh, I need this sit down, I need this quiet moment. Hello lovelies, how are you all doing today? I hope you are well. I need this moment because once again this morning I have been fighting tooth and nail for this house move, to save it, to make it happen. I am being a sort of combination of stonewalled, sort of bullying almost by a party. Bullying might not be the right term because it's sort of passive aggressive and very flaccid. However, you know, the other day I was talking about one of my superpowers being words. My other superpower is intelligence. Now, I'm not like, I'm not Brain of Britain, I'm not saying that, but I've been studying the law quite a bit in the last few days, over a week now. And by studying the law, I have made sure that I know where I stand, I know what my rights are. Basically, my superpower it's this intelligence superpower. It's about when you are fully informed, then you can stand your ground. Knowledge is power, isn't it? So rather than having people trying to pull the wool over my eyes and, you know, twist me around and send me off in the wrong direction, it's like, no, I have knowledge. I'm pulling the wool off my eyes and I'm standing up to you and I'm standing firm. That's probably as much as I should say because it is a legal matter. But yeah, God and Bennett, it's doing my head in. I had a comment the other day from, well, it's a username rather than a person's name, but it starts SW. And she, are you a she? I inferred that you're female. Was talking about, in a similar-ish situation, with different legal stuff going on, but of the whole house selling thing. And, you know, the clock's ticking and there are time constraints. Her mortgage offer is going to run out if they don't get it completed in, I think she said 11 days. I really feel for you. But she said it's less nerve-wracking to have a baby than to go through this. I mean, it's absurd, isn't it? But yeah. The system in the UK is long overdue an overhaul. It's definitely a case of too many cooks spoiling the broth. It's overly complicated, and because it's overly complicated, there are more small parts that can go wrong, which then break down the bigger part. But stroke my bureau every day. Oh, if I can have a bit of grandma and granddad's love coming out of this to just, you know, kind of cover me in love at the moment. And I need a cloak of love. I am determined that this is going to happen. I am determined that whatever anyone puts in my way, I'm going to rip down. I'm going to rip down those walls that get put in my way and continue to arm myself with knowledge and an understanding of all the various parts of law that are affecting me at the moment. I am not going to be beaten. I hope. Anyway, bit of a random basket of random chat I thought we'd do while we're sitting down, and I've got a prop. Why have you got your laundry liquid, Vivi? So last time I was delving in the basket, if you remember, there were too many moans, too many gripes, too many whinges, too many rants, whatever word you want to put on it. Gripe, groan, moan, whinge, rant. I said, no, I'll save those. I've saved them for today. I'm only going to try and do 2. But this first rant, it's to do with advertising and being sold stuff, and the implication is that we are being told that we need this product. you're welcome to show me your product, but let me decide whether I need it or not. And to be honest, pretty much everything I see, I think, no, I don't need it. But it's these adverts which tell us we need something which we simply do not need. It's a con, it's all a big con. Now, I think I have quite a healthy dose of cynicism when it comes to people wanting me to part with my money. In other aspects of life, I'm not cynical at all. I'm soft and I'm mushy and I'm romantic and I love stuff. The sky, the sea, the trees, rabbits. You know, I'm not a cynical person by nature, but this one aspect of life, I am quite cynical, but I think it stands me in good stead. So the advert that has recently got me goat, and this has been building because there was a product before it that I thought, this is getting ridiculous now, but this new one, it's the icing on the cake. It's to do with washing our clothes. So if you think about it, and we don't have to go back too many years, let's think back to, I mean, someone might correct me on this, but like in the 80s, I remember I'm at university, it's clothes washing day, go to the laundrette. I go to the laundrette with something like this, or a box, and it's got powder in it, the small boxes of powder from the corner shop, which probably cost twice as much as a massive family box, but it's all I've got the money for. So when I was doing my washing, I put my clothes in the washing machine and add soap. And that's it. I add soap, my clothes get washed, I take them out of the washing machine, I couldn't afford the tumble dryer, took them home to my digs, hung them on the clothes horse in front of an open fire. We didn't have central heating in my digs. And that was it. That was wash day, kind of done. Clothes, dirty clothes, and a cup of powder. But then we started to be told by the advertisers that we have to add conditioner after the wash. Now, someone was asking me about this the other day. Was it either Moon Spinners or Plant Native? Two monikers that I really love, Moon Spinners and Plant Native. I don't know which video it was on. It was a few back now. It was saying about she's going to buy an airing rack, clothes horse, whatever you want to call it. But you know, the wooden thing that is like a concertina that goes, you open it up and you hang your wet clothes on it and let them air dry. So she was asking me about conditioner. Does she still need to use conditioner? Are her clothes going to dry hard? Okay, so what I would say is, doing. Do my clothes look hard? No, they're not hard. I don't add conditioner. I don't think I've used conditioner. I haven't used it since I've lived here. When did I stop using it? In the noughties at some time. I occasionally use a slug of white vinegar. That helps to sort of just break down any soapy residue that might be in my pipes. But otherwise, no, I don't use conditioner. But back to the adverts. So that was to answer either Plant Native or Moon Spinner's question about with air drying the clothes on an airing rack, clothes dryer, do they dry hard if you don't use conditioner? Not in my experience, no. I would not like hard clothes. I think my towels are, I wouldn't say they're soft and fluffy, I think they're quite rough, but I like that. I quite like a rough towel. I like a good, it's almost like an exfoliate. It's not that rough. But anyway, so in the 80s or so, we were sold the idea that we had to use conditioner after our clothes wash. Somehow we were inadequate if we didn't. So now we're buying two products when we go to the supermarket for our laundry needs. Are we spending twice as much? No, I think conditioner isn't quite as much, but we're buying two products where we only ever used to need one. And then a little time later, and I think this is kind of into the noughties, I think, we were told that we needed a scent booster. So the conditioner, which we were led to believe because of the adverts, it's got this beautiful scent to it, it's perfume. We add real perfume to the conditioner. You're getting these perfumed clothes, how lovely. Now apparently that's not enough. We need a scent booster. So now we have to buy washing liquid, conditioner, and a scent booster. And then along came, and this one just was like, what? Scented ironing water. Now, I don't know about you, but I have never, with all my steam irons, my old iron, the steam function died years ago. But with my new Polty, I add water and that's it. Water heated up gives us steam. Steam helps us to get the creases out of our fabrics. But no, the advertisers told us we need to have special water for our iron. So now we have to buy laundry liquid, conditioner, scent boosters and special water for the iron. Now I'm not talking about, so I know that some steam irons might need distilled water. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about scented waters. And my iron doesn't take distilled, it takes tap water. I'm done. But the most recent thing, and this one is the one that is so stupid that I felt I had to speak up. I couldn't keep a lid on it anymore. My utter frustration with these companies that keep making stuff that nobody needs just so they make more money. And then after a while, it becomes the norm. So fabric conditioner after clothes wash has become the norm now, hasn't it? Which is why we end up with folk asking, and I'm not having a go at anyone who's ever asked me, we end up with people asking, but can you still wash your clothes and not use conditioner? Because it has become so normalised. We don't need any of this nonsense. You just need soap to wash your clothes. Anyway, the latest one, and I've seen it from 2 different brands, but they might be the same company. I'm not going to say either brand. I'm not going to give them a shout out. And this is the reason why I brought my bottle out. So, because I think this is on all laundry packaging. So on my bottle, it's got for the dosing, for the amount you use. It's got soft water, medium water, hard water. So you need to know what your area is. I know that I'm in a hard water area. And it's got 3 different dosing maybes. There's one for a hand wash because you're using less water. But then basically for our washing machine washing, it's got normal soiling, 60 mils, heavy soiling, 80 mils. So heavy soiling, we might think of things like, you know, if your child has, you know, they've wet the bed, you know, they've mostly grown out of it, but they might have had a bad night and they might have wet the bed. So we think of heavy soiling as any sort of bodily fluids on things. So things like if someone's vomited and it's gone on their clothes or on their bedding, blood, the same. So that's kind of heavy soiling. Or if you're, you know, a gardener and you get filthy. Oh, I'll talk about the gardener in the advert in a second too. So that's heavy soiling. We all know what that means, don't we? So I can look at this. I don't remember the last time I did a load of washing where I thought it's heavy soiling, it needs a bit more soap. So I just go, it's normal soiling, and a hard water area, 60 mils. If I was in a soft water area, it'll be 40 mils. We all know this, don't we? If it's heavy soiling, you add a bit more. Now, in the world of pods, so some people use, you know, the pods, it will say on the box, normal soiling, 1 pod, heavy soiling, 2 pods. So you just pop 2 pods in. Oh no, that's not good enough anymore. Now you must buy separate pods for heavy soiling. And the separate pod for heavy soiling is twice as big as the standard pods. It's madness. So in other words, you're going to have on your laundry shelves or wherever you keep your laundry, you know, stuff, a box of regular pods and a box of large pods. Because it's too difficult to use 2 regular pods, isn't it? So you're going to go out and buy 2 different boxes of the same product just because one's got more in than the other. I mean, is it just me but people must be buying them. There must be people out there buying this stuff because it stays on the supermarket shelves. So now we've got laundry liquid or pods, regular, laundry pods large, conditioner, scent booster, ironing water. What else is that? have I covered it all? So now we've got 5 products where once upon a time we had one that did a perfectly good job. Thank you. Madness. The thing about this large pod, the advert I saw, which just made me go, are you having a... Everyone in the advert, there's different scenarios. They're all wearing either white or really, really pale pastel colours. So cut to the scene in the kitchen, father and son, they're doing baking together. Lovely, great to bake with our kids, teach them to bake. They're making a chocolate cake. I don't know anyone that bakes with their kid that doesn't put an apron on, either both themselves, but certainly the kid. But it's gross, to me it's gross. They have, also when you're making a chocolate cake, you know, yes, on your fingertips, you get cake on your, but they've got it covering their entire palms, and then they go, oh, we've got chocolate on our palms. Wipe on their clothes, wiping on their clothes. So their entire front of their clothing is dark brown with chocolate. Nobody does that. I mean, a kid might do that, which is why you put an apron on a kid. But a grown man in a pastel pink, pale baby pink t-shirt, wiping his hands. And then there's another scene of, I think it's a granny and her granddaughter in the garden. Again, lovely, let's garden together, teach our kids to grow. Grandma is wearing white jeans, kneeling down on muddy ground. And I don't know how, but she's managed to, again, their hands are black with soil. And she's like, oh, never mind. And she wipes her hands on the thighs of her jeans. This is the granny. Again, I can imagine a kid wiping their hands on their clothes, but not a grown woman on white jeans. It's infuriating. I bet there's a load of you who've seen these ads who've had the same thought. There's one with, what's his name? Lanky, he used to play for Liverpool, the footballer. Oh, I can't remember his name. I can't remember his name. He's the lanky lad. Anyway, the kids are playing with the ball and he's on his doorstep in a pristine white shirt and he says, over here, lads. And the ball hits him in the middle of the chest. So obviously they've just picked it up out of, I don't know, a sewage works, because it goes splat. Massive stain on his shirt. And by the way, I don't believe, I'm pretty sure garden soil really wiped hard into a pair of white jeans. I'm pretty sure that no amount of pods is going to get that out. But there we go. Be a little bit cynical, and you know, it comes back to told you it was a rant. It winds me up. It doesn't wind me up so much that before anyone says, oh, just ignore it, Vivi, don't let it wind you up. It winds me up because I think we're all being conned, and this comes back to my mantra that helps me to be frugal with barely even thinking about it is, you know, when I see these things, it always boils down to the same thing. I ask myself that one simple question every time. You know what it is by now. Do I really need it? So if I'm in I wouldn't be in the supermarket getting this anyway, because generally supermarkets don't stock this kind of stuff I want. But if I was in a supermarket and I had, I mean, this is pods, right? Can you imagine? This would be the scenario for a liquid, is a bottle twice as big for when you've got heavy soil, and get the really big bottle so you can do a bigger dose. But that's how utterly inane and stupid this marketing campaign is. Certainly, if I was looking at the two products, I wouldn't think, oh, well, I better buy the regular pods and the big pods. Just buy the regular pods, and on the few occasions when you do have heavier soiling, use 2 pods. Mental, these companies, mental. Then I saw another advert, which... Now this is going to be mostly aimed at us girlies, but there might be a few of you boys who do it too, so I'm not excluding you. It's an advert for mascara, which is why I'm not excluding boys at all. I know a couple of boys who wear makeup and they look great. Now, I don't believe any of the mascara ads, and I have no brand loyalty. For me, my loyalty is in... Do you remember the other day when I was talking about you vote with your money? So I'm more interested in the ethics of the company. You know that by now, I won't bang on one. But for instance, with their profits, do they support any one particular political party? Because if I know that my purchase, the profits generated are going to go to a party that I really don't like, I'm not going to support that company anymore. I'll look for a different company. I'd rather keep politics out of it completely. I'd rather not have to think like that, but I don't, you know what I mean. Anyway, so I don't care, with mascara, I don't care what brand it is. What I care about is the ethics around it. So mascara adverts, they just go over my head, don't care. But this one caught my attention because the one thing mascara adverts always do, or always claim, is they're going to make your lashes appear longer and fuller. That's what all mascara adverts are trying to make us believe. So I saw one the other day, and one of the things that's a bit annoying about adverts these days is they can make what seem like quite outrageous claims, but then if you look closely at the bottom of the screen, you'll see in small white writing, it's not on for long, you have to be really quick, maybe press pause to read what it says. They've got the small print at the bottom, which is quite often it's a bit of a disclaimer. So they make these grand statements out loud. Now, quite often I don't watch adverts, I hear them. So I'm sitting at my computer, I'm watching something, the ads come on, and because they're not skippable ads, it's not like YouTube, you can't skip them. Generally the ads come on, I go and do something, like I might do some veg prep, or I might wash up, or I might come in the living room and I might sort of set things up if I'm going to be doing some filming. You get the gist. So I often miss the disclaimers. So you hear these grand claims of what a product can do. Back to the mascara. Yeah, look out for those bits of white writing. That's the disclaimer. Everything we said in this advert was an exaggeration. The truth is actually written below. So first time I saw it, I hadn't seen the white bit. And there's a moment in the advert and they show 3 stages of the eyelashes. So they show, it's a close-up on the eye and the eyelashes. Stage 1, the eyelashes are naked. They've got no makeup on. The next picture, and it kind of goes, and the next picture, and then suddenly they look really quite full and long. And then the next picture comes up and they look really, really full and long. They almost look like false eyelashes. And it's like, wow, you can achieve that with this mascara. That's pretty impressive. Next time I watched it more carefully. Naked eye, first picture of lashes looking full. And at the bottom it says, after 30 strokes of the wand. 30 strokes? Who in the world does 30 strokes on their eyelashes? Picture yourself in the morning, getting ready to go to work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 30. I won't go on to 30. Then your bottom lashes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 30. And then on the other eye. So you'll be doing 120 strokes in total. It doesn't stop there. That final picture that reveals it looks like fake eyelashes, it's so thick and long. 99 strokes. I kid you not. Keep an eye out for the advert. I don't know what make it is. Again, I wouldn't even say their name. I wouldn't give them a shout out. But you see, I'm so shocked. 99 strokes. So that, let's call it 100, round the numbers up. 100, 200, 300, 400. 400 strokes of the mascara wand. Your mascara would be empty after 2 days. What I mean, come on, it's ridiculous. I can't imagine anyone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. My arm would go dead before I get to 100. Absolute utter nonsense. So yeah, have a healthy dose of cynicism when the ads come on. I've got completely random bits here. Okay, this is a really random one. Half an eye on the time. Letter openers. I can't find my letter opener. How many? You know, the other day I was talking about where did the pens on chains go? Pens on chains have disappeared. I like pens on chains at the bank. And I don't know why, but I just like it. Maybe because it's old-fashioned. I don't know, old-fashioned things. Maybe that's what it is. I think old-fashioned things and nostalgia is there a sort of, there's a psychology there, isn't there, of making us feel safer somehow? When we live in uncertain times, whatever is causing the uncertainty, so it might be a personal uncertainty like this flipping house move, or it might be sort of a much larger political uncertainty, you know, things that go on in the world. Don't really want to go there today. I don't really want to go there ever, but yeah, when we have uncertainty and we're feeling our world is we feel a bit rocked, or you know, it feels like we're not quite standing on firm ground, that maybe those nostalgic things just, we want them, we seek them out, we need them because it makes us feel safe, because it's from the past, and in the past we felt safer. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's probably a day one psychology degree, isn't it? Why nostalgia, that yearning for the past when the current times are a bit shaky. Anyway, so yeah, pens on chains and letter openers. I've got a letter opener and I can't find it. I don't use it terribly often. I'm sure I wouldn't have chucked it out when I had that bit of a sort out last summer. I might have packed it somewhere, but yeah, I don't use it terribly often because most often I can get into my letters. But every now and again, I've got one that I can't quite get in, and it's really quite satisfying. So my letter opener, it's a vintage one, of course. It's metal. It's probably silver plate. Yeah, it's not solid silver. But it's that satisfaction of you get the point in just under, and then you go whoosh, whoosh, that clean opening of the envelope. Do any of you still use a letter opener? It's a nice thing to have, isn't it? And obviously at the moment, there's been quite a lot of documentation going backwards and forwards. And the other day I did have a really tricky envelope. Couldn't find my letter opener, so I opened the scissors up. So used one of the blades of the scissors instead and thought, right, maybe I'll find it after the move. Let's keep saying after the move. Let's keep believing it's going to happen. Letter openers, told you, random. I love a bit of randomness. Oh, one last grump and then a really happy thing. Yes, keep it shorter these days. One last grump and then a really happy one. I saw a headline the other day. It's perhaps not surprising. It was in the Tory graph. Sorry, the Telegraph. The headline read, and I didn't even want to read it because I just thought this is what is wrong in the world today. One of the things. The headline read, I think it was questions to their money page. I've got more money than I can spend. How can I protect it from the socialists? Okay, so already we've got inflammatory kind of speak in there with socialists. But it's that first part of the sentence. I've got more money than I can spend. How can I protect it? I don't understand that kind of thinking. I've got more money than I can spend. So why don't you give some of it away? Why don't you do some good with it? Why don't you help out someone who maybe hasn't, who's got no money to spend? why are you trying to protect it? Why are you trying to hold on to it and hoard it? Because, you know, when you die, you don't take it with you. Yeah, of course, they may have family they want to pass it on to, but in that case, pass that money on now to your kids, your grandkids. You know, maybe help one of your grandkids get through university, because it's expensive these days. Or if they don't want to go to university, if they want to do an apprenticeship, apprenticeships pay really, really, really low. So if you've got all this money that you can't possibly spend, invest it in one of your grandchildren and say, you know what, I'm gonna help you to rent a nice little flat while you're doing your apprenticeship, because your apprenticeship isn't going to be enough for you to pay for your own flat. I'm going to help you rent one because I've got all this money that I can't possibly spend. I don't get it. I think probably you all feel the same as well. I don't understand people who've got so much money that they can't spend it. There's nothing left for them to spend all this money on, but somehow they still want to keep it all. It's sad, isn't it? It's really sad. And then there are those of us like us who have hardly anything, but who jolly well make sure that they are supporting people with even less. Sorry, that's a downer and a bum note, isn't it? Okay, moving on, something lovely. Right, this is the last item of today. It's a little video to share with you. And it's a really special one because, well, it comes with a lot of memories for me from when I first saw it because of the friend of mine who introduced me to it. But also it was my gateway into animation. Now, of course, until this, I was familiar with Disney. Who isn't? I think it's impossible to grow up without seeing a Disney film every now and again. But this is a 1989 film. And this was my first introduction to Studio Ghibli, which you've heard me talk about a little bit. This one is Kiki's Delivery Service. So it's from the Studio Ghibli collection. You see there at the top. Now, Studio Ghibli, for those who don't know, it's kind of like if Disney was called Studio Disney, you'd say like, you know, oh, I love Studio Disney films. Oh, have you seen Pinocchio? Have you seen Dumbo? Have you seen Bambi? Have you seen Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs? I love Disney films, Studio Disney films. Well, Ghibli, it's kind of like the equivalent, but in Japan, although it's much, much newer. So it's like, yay, I love Studio Ghibli films. They're all animations. And this is the first one I ever saw. And this was what opened up that world of watching animation as an adult. I love their stuff. Now, obviously, a few videos back, I talked about Belleville Rendezvous, which I really love because it's dark and it's moody and it's a bit surreal and a bit odd. It's definitely weird. Studio Ghibli is much more. So far, I've only seen about 3 or 4 of them. I've got one lined up to watch soon, which is the one that won the Oscar in, I think, the early noughties. But anyway, they're much more traditional. The artwork, so in Kiki's Delivery Service, Kiki is a 13-year-old witch, and when a witch turns 13, she leaves home, goes off on her own for a year to do her proper sort of apprenticeship. So she goes away. It's based on a book, and I think it's a Swedish town that she goes to. It's a town by the sea. It's thoroughly charming. It's very sweet. And of course, like most animations, there's a bit of a moral to it in terms of, you know, be yourself. Be okay with being yourself. Don't worry what other people think, because you are beautiful and wonderful and you're sort of perfect as you are. What year was it? Oh, yeah, you know, it's all about that kind of find your true self, find your own inspiration, be yourself. I mean, it's a great moral for kids and adults alike, isn't it? But the artwork is gorgeous. The artwork for the town itself is really beautiful. There's bits where there's a moment by the sea with the waves lapping, and it's the sea beautiful beautifully captured. It's got lots of my favourite things in it: bicycles, aeroplanes, trains. I love all those things in animations. Cute little story. It's adorable. So it was first released in 1989, and it was the first time that Ghibli had a really massive box office success. So this was over in Japan. And it was quickly dubbed into English, and that's the version I saw when I first saw it. A friend of mine, like I said, my friend John, who was massively into this kind of thing, he loaned me his VHS tape. I don't know when did he loan that to me? Anyway, then later on, talking of Disney then dubbed it, and I think these. Do you remember the other day I said I'd got a fantastic haul from my charity shop? It included these Studio Ghiblis. So this collection, I think it's all the ones that were dubbed in Disney's studios. So I had to write the date down because I didn't know. It was, did I write it? Oh yeah, 1997. So 8 years later, Disney dubbed it. So this is the Disney dubbed version, with Kirsten Dunst. I wouldn't have recognised her voice. So Kirsten Dunst voices Kiki. Oh no, that's her little cat, Gigi. And of course Gigi speaks. Yeah, it's really charming. It's sweet, it's charming. The first 10 minutes or so, I thought, oh no, it's a bit too Disney. There's a big song moment when she's at her parents' house, and it's time for her to fly off on her broomstick and go and spend her year of apprenticeship on her own. So there was it was a bit of a Disney number. I didn't like that, and I thought, oh no, they've Disneyfied it. You know what I mean by Disney, but make it too sweet and kitschy. But it settled down then, and then we didn't get a song then until right at the end. It was a bit too Disney at the end for me, but the rest of it was worth it. If you see any Studio Ghiblis, if I've piqued your interest a bit, do give them a go, because they are charming stories, beautiful artwork. The artwork is gorgeous and well worth a watch just for that. And yeah, it's charming, joyful, uplifting. I can't wait. Sorry, excuse me. Getting ahead of myself. I can't wait to watch the next one. And the next one I'm going to watch is called Spirited Away. Actually, I think I saw it because there's poster. When your DVD comes with a poster. But this is all there. This is the whole collection. It looks like there's 17 in the collection. Yeah, so Spirited Away, it was the winner of the 2003 Best Animated Feature Oscar. And again, it's by the same creative person, Miyazaki. It's one of the most universally appealing films. It tells the story of Chihiro's adventures and struggles rescuing her parents from an evil witch by working in a bathhouse to the gods. Brilliant. What does it say about Kiki's delivery service? It's a magical parable. It's tiny writing. It's a magical parable that will entertain girls and boys alike. It follows the fun-filled escapades and new friendships of a young trainee witch, Kiki, who must leave her family on the night of a full moon to learn her craft. There we go. Lovely stuff. But don't worry, if you're not into animation, what's up next? My next up film is not an animation. It is another film I've seen before. Can't wait to watch again. And it's possibly one that fewer of you will have seen. I'm trying to bring you things that, well, obviously I'm trying to bring you things that I love because I'm watching them, but I'm trying to bring you quite an eclectic mixed bag. Some foreign films, some classics, some animation, some American box office hits, but things that you might not have seen for a while and kind of half forgotten and think, oh yeah, I wouldn't mind watching that again. Keeping it eclectic. All right, lovelies. I've got to shut up now. I've gone over my time limit. I will see you all again soon. Pardon me. We might yeah, I'll see you. I'm not going to predict what we'll be doing. I'll see you again. I mean, hopefully I was going to say hopefully next time I see you, there might be some news about this blimmin' move, but stroke the bureau, Vivi. Oh yeah, let's not hold our breath. The baby is due any day now. Just get it out. All right, lovelies, until the next one, cheerio.